You come to me with promises of superior technology, upgrades for my systems and for the android, and what is the result? A wrecked machine, and this universe's champion even more powerful than before.
What you're saying, one thing you don't realize is that...
Enough with this foolishness. If I am to finally confront and destroy the entity, it must be here. I did not wish to make my presence known, but there is no more time. I will deal with the champion myself.
Just let me go, yeah. Don't let me hear the...
Okay, we have 3 issues to review today, so let's just go! Go! In the last 4 issues, a bunch of dumbasses decided to yell justice randomly as if it had any kind of significance. Several people died off panel, the only interesting characters barely got any panel time, and torture is A-OK from heroes who had previously not believed that it was okay. So let's dig into Justity Justice number 5, 6, and Justice. We open to the home of Buddy Baker, aka Animal Man, where Donna Troy and Starfire are just getting out of the pool. Why they're not just at the pool of their own tower is anyone's guess, since this was before their book got taken over by Deathstroke, but hey, what are you gonna do? And of course, this is another scene with the excuse of the artist getting to draw bikini-clad women. Huzzah! The doorbell rings and it's Mikal and Kongorilla, come to see Animal Man. In my continuing quest for you all to read better comics, go hunt down Grant Morrison's run on Animal Man. I'll wait! You're not going anywhere, are you? Anyway, they've come to Animal Man for advice on where to go next in their investigation. Of all the people they could have chosen for advice, why did they go to Animal Man first? He lives in San Diego! You guys were in Paris! I can think of at least a dozen other stops on the way you could have made for people who could help. The 3 volunteer to assist. Donna Troy says they can call in the Titans. Yes, but at the risk of offending you, I think we need help from more than the Titans. The Titans have saved the Earth just as many times as any other team, plus they have just as huge a roster as the Justice League. You may not have offended her, but you have offended me as a fan. No, of course, he thinks they need the Justice League, and we immediately cut to them. Hal Jordan has just finished explaining the situation. Roy Harper, aka Red Arrow, aka Arsenal, aka formerly Green Arrow sidekick, says that of course they've got their help, but Black Canary has decided that a criminal investigation is nowhere near as important as being pissed off at the 2 for leaving in issue 1. You've been gone for weeks doing I don't know what. Weeks? How the hell have they been gone for... Never mind, let's just get through this. Captain Marvel says they need to stop bickering and get together. Despite the fact that the group was supposed to have finished their exposition, they continue talking about Prometheus controlling supervillains. The League says they've been getting reports of villains operating out of different cities than they usually do, and they suspect a pattern to the attacks. Not that we ever really learn what the supposed pattern is. They get a call from Batwoman, who says she encountered an ice supervillain named Endless Winter. She persuaded Endless Winter to talk, in turn saying that it was a diversion for Prometheus. Until things took a sudden and unexpected twist. Gingivitis strikes when you least expect it. Dramatic. I was lucky my boots were insulated. Wait, was that panel supposed to imply that she was electrocuted? And if that was Prometheus killing her, what about all the other supervillains who have yapped before this and didn't get shocked? Surprisingly, Caucasian Firestorm is sent out to retrieve the body while we cut to the Shade talking with Jay Garrick. The Shade now looks about 30 years younger than he did in the previous issue, which makes more sense since Shade is supposed to be immortal. He explains that villains are being sent into cities as distractions for Prometheus' greater plan, and that the heroes are so busy fighting that they aren't looking in the right places. How does he know all of this? Of course, this makes one wonder why Prometheus is even bothering with sending out people to distract them, considering the fact that no one was looking for him until he started sending out villains. Smooth. Jay Garrick says it's time to go to the Justice League with what he knows. While the Atom apparently performs an autopsy on Endless Winter, he's a physicist! They learn that another hero, the Guardian, stopped a villain in the act of setting up a device. They bring the device up to the tower, and after consulting with other scientists, discover that the device is an amalgamation of the technologies that have been stolen. Specifically, the device appears to be some kind of giant teleporter capable of beaming away an entire city. However, the device is incomplete because it requires an immense amount of power and a gigantic specialized computer system for the thing to work. Supergirl suddenly notices that, whoa, what the hell happened to the artwork on Supergirl? Her head is huge and she's become ultra thin. For heaven's sakes, woman, eat a burger! Roy Harper walks off because he needs to make a phone call and wish his daughter sweet dreams. Yes, one of the interesting character points about Roy Harper is that he's a single father. It is something very unique about him and not done very often with superheroes. Remember this! Anyway, Hal starts to mobilize them into teams. Why? Where are you going? While Black Canary whines to Green Arrow. You left the team! You left me! I lost faith in everything! In myself! I dissolved the League! Let me get this straight. Black Canary, leader of the Justice League, one of the strongest characters and most badass fighters in the DC Universe, couldn't handle leadership or her own personal life without having her husband around? Why do you hate the Birds of Prey so much, James Robinson? Is it because they were better written stories than what you were... Well, I answered my own question there. You want the list of what me and Hal were up to? We captured Black Manta and the Fisherman. Black Manta was in the pile of villains from back in issue 2. Either the artist made a mistake there, or, as a writer, James Robinson, you forgot who was there. Remember Cutlass Charlie? No. Well, they know him in Somalia, where he turned the piracy there into high-speed slaughter. Not anymore, though. Oh, really? Yeah, pity we never got a chance to see any of these heroics of yours. Instead, it was felt that our time was better spent watching you two torture people. Thing is, we did good, Hal and me, on the assault, on the hunt for justice. That's not what you were saying last issue when you were torturing people! Anyway, Animal Man shows up with the others. Yeah, 5 issues in, Mikal and Congarilla finally have something to do with the plot. Congarilla smells something and runs off and finds Supergirl, who apparently was just wandering around on her own. Instead, they find Roy Harper, whose arm has been cut off. Yeah, this was totally necessary to see. By the way, Roy Harper is a trained superhero since when he was a kid, and even a member of the Titans, but evidently he decided to drag himself around the satellite, bleeding across half of it, instead of sounding the alarm. They say he's lost a lot of blood, and Supergirl cauterizes his stump of an arm. Again, instead of calling for help, Congarilla just roars and the two run off. Well, I'm sure the unconscious, normal human will be fine with his cut-off arm. No need to get help or anything. Anyway, Congarilla's roar causes the others to come a-running. They come across Roy's body, alone, and say they'll get the ones who did this, while no one seems to be thinking of getting Roy to a hospital or anything. Issue 5 ends showing Congarilla burned up, the Flash unconscious, and Supergirl fighting Captain Marvel. At this point, it's just getting surreal how incompetent the heroes are looking. Now let's see if they can redeem themselves. First thing to note is that issues 6 and 7 have different artists than the rest of the series. Mauro Cassioli will return for all of 3 pages in issue 7, but for now, Scott Clark is taking over art duties. Issue 6 opens with Supergirl revealing that she suspected Captain Marvel wasn't who he said he was ever since the explosion with Clayface. Prometheus's death trap that super smart, super cute Freddy found a way to save us from and win our confidence. You said you used your magical lightning to shield us from the blast. If I'd gotten that close to magical energy, I'd have maybe died. Certainly wouldn't have felt good. Urgh. Okay, I said it was a plot point, but that's not the reason why the lightning thing was stupid. When Captain Marvel calls down his lightning, it doesn't create an explosion that can counteract another explosion. It sends a single lightning bolt down to Captain Marvel. While there may be a blast of energy, it's not the kind of thing that would protect them, and it would be fairly small, all things considered. That's why his excuse was dumb. Secondly, it's magic attacks that Superman and Supergirl are vulnerable to. It's not like kryptonite where the radiation is lethal to them. Magical energy alone isn't going to hurt them. The lightning would certainly have hurt Supergirl, but it wouldn't have killed her like she says here. After all, anytime there's a fight between Superman and Captain Marvel, he calls down the thunder on him and he survives. Still, props to Supergirl for noticing. No props, however, for the fact that she didn't tell anybody! And this is where it gets worse. She realized that every time the group got off track, he was the one to get them back on track. Plus, Captain Marvel said the magic word Shazam, which is supposed to be what calls down the thunder and transform him. He can't say the word in casual conversation like he did. Supergirl says that Captain Marvel... Okay, it's Prometheus. I'm just saying it now. Prometheus wanted access to the JLA satellite, and that's why he let them all live from the explosion. That is, without a doubt, one of the dumbest plans ever! He didn't need any of them to be alive. All he had to do was let them all die, grab Green Arrow's JLA communicator, and yell out, "Oh my God, they're all dead!" When the League goes to investigate, you say you want to come with to make sure the perpetrators are brought to justice. Clean, simple, and with at least 4 less superheroes you have to deal with. Next, Prometheus isn't super strong and never could fly before, so how did he travel from Central City to Gotham with the Atom? And how did he even know who to tag along with for this little quest? What was he going to do if none of the supervillains got caught by heroes and tortured for information? How was he planning on getting onto the satellite then? And now, not only do you have Supergirl to deal with, but at least a dozen other superheroes way out of your league. Oh, but I forgot. This is the comic where everybody is a moron but him, even though he's a moron too. Supergirl gets taken down instantly thanks to a bullet wound in the shoulder. Magic bullet, admittedly, but all it does is put a tiny hole through her shoulder. Nothing special. It'll heal up in no time. Why does this knock her out? Speaking of, the other heroes run in and show how dumb they are. Zatanna, instead of staying back and using her magic, runs right at the front and gets shot in the throat so she can't use her magic. Plastic Man gets hit by something that destabilizes him. Red Tornado is taken out by Technobabble. Black Canary is accidentally hit by Starman's blast instead of using her canary cry from a distance, and Starman is shot and knocked out. While this goes on, Prometheus exposits about how he had hoped to just slip in and out unnoticed, something that would have been easier without others with you. To make a long story short, despite a dozen superheroes, all experienced and powerful, doing everything they can to fight him, they are all either incapacitated or heavily injured by the end of this fight. You know, I talked about wanting a fight scene after so much of this nonsense, but this is not what I meant! Prometheus is supposed